Oh, how I have missed Kill la Kill. I did not realize how much I missed this series until I watched this OVA episode. The hype fibers, the feels, the emotions, the intensity, the wackiness, the insanity of Kill la Kill wrapped up into this OVA episode, episode 25. If you've yet to watch this episode, I recommend leaving this video before you watch it, because you need to go watch the episode before you continue on with this video. I don't want to spoil you, I don't want to ruin anything, I don't want to ruin the surprises for you, I don't want to do none of that. Anyways, you have 3 seconds. 3, 2, 1, 0. Okay, so pretty much this episode of Kill la Kill had everything we know and love from the series, really. All the characters, casting characters, fan characters come back in this episode. Even Ragyo makes an appearance in this episode. Even though it's in the past, she makes an appearance in this episode with new scenes. Now, personally, I like the connection of the ending of this episode to the ending of episode 24 of the series of Kill la Kill. For instance, the setting of episode 25 of Kill la Kill, it is canon. It definitely is canon. It takes place between, like, I'm guessing episode 24's ending and the actual series, and it's 2 weeks after Ragyo's defeat. That's exactly where this episode takes place. And the main concept of this episode is graduating from the academy, and at the exact same time graduating from Ragyo and the entire life fiber shenanigans that's, played Kill la Kill the series. Now, personally, this episode made me laugh, made me cry, made me just have my fist pumping in the air like, hell yes, all sorts of stuff going down one by one. I was just doing it constantly. But the big question anyone is going to ask when they watch this episode, anyone that probably hasn't watched it yet, or if you've watched the episode, you're probably wondering and questioning yourself, is there going to be a season 2? Now, I'm going to discuss this real quick. The ending of this episode, it kind of wraps up all the events. It wraps up everything that went down with, Kill la Kill, with Ragyo, the life fibers. It, fixes up Ray. Ray's the main antagonist of this episode. You get to see her defeated and her determination to change her ways and lead the way in the path for humanity to change itself and be better. And so, I like how, those loose ends were tied up in this episode, and you have it how, you have Ruko and you have, Satsuki. Everybody makes a determination to move on past all the events that happened 2 weeks prior. And I like the entire part where you see Ruko trying to get past her, I guess, sadness of losing Senketsu. Now, Senketsu at the end of this episode actually technically makes an appearance. Now, here's how. The Scissor Blade? The Scissor Blade falls from orbit where, Ragyo and Ruko, were fighting in orbit, pretty much, at the end of the series. Well, the Scissor Blade is in orbit, and it slings down to Ruko's location, and she uses it to defeat Ray at the end of episode 25. And you hear Senketsu's voice. So, this makes me believe that Senketsu, even though technically majority of his body is dead, there might be a little bit of a strand or life fiber left alive of him. Or at the very least, there might be a strand of his life fiber left inside of Ruko's heart. Because they're definitely trying to push the entire bit with how Senketsu is alive in Ruko's heart. The first thing you'd think of is if, someone's alive in your heart, it's because their memories are with you, their love is with you. That's exactly what you'd think as a normal perspective of a series if a character died. But Senketsu is life fibers, and inside of Ruko is nothing but life fibers. She still has the life fibers inside of her. It's made clear in this episode, and so it's possible Senketsu technically could be inside Ruko. It's possible. And at the exact same time, he could also be up in space since the Scissor Blade did fall down into orbit. So it's possible he could still be alive up there, because at the end, the final shot of this episode, you see a glow, like a red glow flash, and then the episode ends. You see Trigger, and then the episode ends. So it shows you there's something in space coming. It may not even be, Senketsu. It could be something else, but still, they purposely showed a glimpse and flash of light in the sky. And they wouldn't do that if they didn't have future plans, because the way I see it, they're leaving it open. Like Ragyo at the end of episode 24, as I discussed in my reviews of it, it was left open saying that life fibers will return again, that life fibers will come to invade humanity and take over Earth pretty much. And so technically the fight is not over. Ragyo pretty much foreshadows this. And with, Senketsu being flashed up in the sky like that, and, I feel like there's going to be a season 2, or at the very least there might be a movie or something, or an OVA series, because Trigger would not leave those type of loose ends. I don't think they would leave those loose ends and try to hint at a possible sequel. That's exactly what it hints at. Now, the animation department of this OVA, it's good. It's not the best thing I've ever seen, and clearly there is a little bit of animation derp sometimes in this episode. It's nothing too bad. This is an OVA, so OVAs usually have something along the lines of these type of problems, so I can look past the animation derps. Overall, in the most part, the entertainment value is what you really should watch Kill la Kill for. It's not really the animation you should watch Kill la Kill for. It's that fucking entertainment value. Now, getting on to the factor of this episode. You got one of my favorite lines from the series in this episode. Actually, a bunch of my favorite lines were in this episode. DTR! You remember that. You remember the DTR line? I think it was episode like 19 or 20 or whatever, when you had, nudist beach. You remember that? When he's like, DTR, and he was constantly saying that over and over again because he didn't like the full name. You get to see the DTRs make an appearance in this episode, and you see how the Elite Four has to wear the DTR. It is so fucking hilarious. It is just so freaking great. I love it. I love the craziness and insanity of this series. It really gets your blood flowing. It gives you that hype fiber. It definitely does. Now, one thing I do want to say, though, about this is that the hair. At the end of this episode, I like how they tie in the haircut to the ending of episode 24 of Kill la Kill. For instance, at the end of episode 24, you see, the future, and you see, Satsuki with her hair shortened. But we find out exactly how her hair got shortened in this OVA. For instance, it got cut by Rei, and then so she just finished off and just cut the rest of it off at the end of this episode, and it completely links with the events that happened at the end of episode 24. And so I feel like that is a really awesome, way to, I guess, connect the episodes, and it really makes me just miss this series. I mean, I wish there was more I could watch. And personally, I don't know if there should be a Season 2, because this series was a very good series, an anime original series that I had so much enjoyment from. It was so fun watching. It was so fun, and I just, man, the episode brings you those feels. It definitely brings you those feels, and you'll definitely probably be kind of bittersweet after this episode, because you'll be thinking back at those times, like, earlier this year when you're watching this series. You'll probably be thinking back, like, damn, I used to watch that all the time, like, every week I'd look forward to the episode, and now it's not airing anymore. I mean, I bet a lot of you are probably thinking that, so, just, it's going to be hard, moving past this point. I already did it once, I could do it again. Just, hopefully this isn't the end for Ruko's journey and Satsuki's journey. Hopefully there might be a future sequel, or maybe Trigger will make a new series that'll make us, have our mind blown like Kill la Kill did to us, or Gurren Lagann did. So, overall, good OVA. I enjoyed it to the absolute fullest. I wouldn't recommend watching this OVA until you finish the series. I'm just going to say that now, but it's obvious. It's episode 25, so you shouldn't technically watch 25 before 24, so yeah, it's pretty fucking obvious. But anyways, I just wanted to say that. But you all have a wonderful day or not. If I had to rate this OVA truthfully, I want to give it an 8.75 out of 10. It was a good episode. I enjoyed it. The only reason why it doesn't get a full 10 out of 10 for me is because it hints at a possible sequel that we might not ever have. That's the only reason why I'm saying that. So anyways, you all have a wonderful day or night wherever you live. Please be safe. Chibi out.